I moved into this house in Vancouver last fall. It was just me and my dog, Atlas. The place was old, built in the 60s, but nothing felt particularly off at first. 2 weeks in, I started waking up at the same time every night, 3:11 a.m., to this faint, rhythmic knocking. It wasn't loud, just steady. 3 knocks, then silence. I figured it was the pipes, or maybe Atlas. But the weird part, he would always be wide awake when I opened my eyes, staring directly at the front door, tail tucked, ears flattened. I thought I was imagining things until the 3rd night in a row. Same exact time, same exact knocking. I checked the door, no one there. I even stepped outside. Dead quiet street. So I installed a Ring camera the next day. The first night with the camera running, it happened again. I jumped up, opened the app, and nothing. No movement. No person. No sound. Just the knock. Real to me, invisible to the tech. I started recording the audio from inside my living room. And that's when it got weirder. When I played the audio back, you could hear the knocks, clear as day. But when I watched the Ring footage in sync with the audio, there was zero reaction. The mic didn't register anything. The knocks were happening inside the house. I thought maybe it was coming from the walls. I knocked back one night, 3 taps, and I swear to you, there was a reply. 3 more slower. Atlas lost it, barking, scratching at the door, refusing to go near the hallway for hours. That same night, I stayed up. I sat in the dark with a flashlight, recording everything. At exactly 3:11, I felt the coldest draft I've ever experienced sweep through the room, like a breath against the back of my neck. Then the knock came. But it was from the kitchen door this time. When I shined the light, there was nothing. But the door was open, just an inch. I'm positive I locked it. I lock everything. The next morning, I checked the camera again, nothing. But when I opened the Ring app's event history, there was a single thumbnail frame saved at 3:11 a.m. No video, just a still image. And in it, there was a figure, a silhouette, long, crooked limbs, standing at the bottom of the front porch stairs, mid-knock. But the doorbell never rang. The motion sensor never triggered. It shouldn't have saved anything at all. I sent the image to Ring support. They told me it's likely a data glitch. False thumbnail generated from cached memory, whatever that means. So I deleted the app, removed the camera, but that didn't stop the knocking. It happens every single night, always at 3:11. And now I've started hearing it inside my bedroom wall. I haven't slept in 2 days. If anyone's listening, if you've had something like this happen, please tell me what to do. Because I think whatever it is, it's not trying to come in anymore. It's already inside. I moved into this house in Newcastle, England, a little over a year ago. It was one of those fixer-uppers, cheap, neglected, and on a quiet, dead-end street. I was planning to flip it, renovate and resell. That was the idea. The house was ordinary enough, except for the back room. It wasn't large, maybe 10 by 10 feet, with a single window looking into the overgrown backyard. The first time I stepped in, it was ice cold. No matter the season, no matter the heating. But here's the thing. It always felt like someone had just left. The air had this charged heaviness, like walking into a room right after an argument. I kept the door shut most of the time. During the first week of renovation, strange things started happening. Tools would be missing. Then I'd find them in the back room even though I never worked in there. I'd close the door at night and find it open in the morning. Once I found muddy footprints leading out of the room and stopping right at the threshold. Just stopping, no trail. I thought maybe it was squatters or some bored teenager sneaking in. So I installed a lock on the back room door. 3 nights later, I heard something moving in there, not just creaking, breathing, and soft, slow pacing, like someone dragging their feet in circles. I grabbed a crowbar and opened the door. Empty. But the room stank of wet dirt. And in the center of the floor there was a single muddy handprint, human, small, like a child's. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe I stepped in something, maybe I was sleepwalking, I started avoiding the room altogether. Weeks later, my contractor asked if I'd ever noticed the smell coming from that backspace. He said it felt off, like it didn't belong to the rest of the house. I told him to just drywall over the entire entrance, seal it off, make it a closet, problem solved. For a while it worked. The noises stopped. The temperature normalized, no more missing tools. Until one night, about 3 months after the renovation, I woke up to the sound of banging. Not knocks, pounding, like someone throwing their entire body at the wall, over and over again, from inside the sealed-off space. I stood in the hallway, frozen, while the drywall thudded and buckled. Then suddenly, silence. I tore down the wall the next morning, and behind it was the room. Untouched, still cold, still damp, but now it looked lived in. A child's drawing was taped to the far wall. A crayon rolled out from the corner as I stepped inside. The picture was of a stick-figure girl standing in a window, staring at someone sleeping in bed. My bed. I moved out 2 days later, sold the house at a loss. Didn't care. But here's the worst part. A few weeks ago, I got a message from the new owner. I never gave them my number, but somehow they found me. The text just said, "Did you ever figure out who she is?" My grandmother used to say one thing over and over again when I was a kid. Never sleep with a mirror facing your bed. If you wake up and see yourself in it, it might not be you looking back. I laughed it off, like any rational person would, but she never did. She said it was old folk knowledge, something her mother told her and her mother before that. She believed mirrors were doors for certain things to come through, and if you leave one open, something might use it. I forgot about all of that for years, until last winter. I had just moved into a small basement apartment in Toronto. Cheap, but clean. The bedroom was tiny, barely enough room for a double bed and a dresser. The only spot the full-length mirror could go was directly across from where I slept. The first few nights were normal, but then sometime around the second week I started waking up at odd hours. 3 o'clock, 3:14, 2:57. Always in that dead stretch of the night when the world feels unnaturally still. I never remembered why I woke up, just that my eyes would snap open and my body would feel heavy, like something was watching me. Then, one night, I saw it. I woke up again, 3:12 a.m. I glanced at the mirror without really thinking, and I saw myself. Only I wasn't moving. I blinked. The reflection didn't. It was like a paused video of me lying in bed, staring dead ahead with a blank expression. But I could feel my own face contorted in confusion and fear. I sat up, slowly, and watched as the me in the mirror stayed completely still for 3 whole seconds, before it slowly sat up too. But it moved wrong, like it wasn't used to its own weight, like it had never been in a body before. I turned on the lamp. The reflection snapped back to normal. So I tried to rationalize it: sleep paralysis, hypnagogic hallucinations, stress. I even flipped the mirror to face the wall. That helped for a few days, but then I started hearing whispers, low, drawn-out murmurs in the middle of the night, like someone trying to talk through a thick layer of glass. The mirror would be fogged up every morning, like someone had been breathing on it. One night, I heard what I swear was my own voice whispering from behind the mirror, "Let me out." I didn't sleep that night, or the next. On the third night, I had a plan. I sat in bed facing the mirror, camera in hand, light off. I waited. At exactly 3:08 a.m., the mirror shimmered like heat waves on pavement. Then, she stepped into view. She looked just like me. Same hair, same pajamas. But her eyes were hollow, her mouth opened, and this horrible, gurgling laugh came out, like she didn't know how to laugh properly. She raised her hand and started tapping the glass. Soft, rhythmic, insistent. I stood up, and the lights in the room flickered. The mirror began to bulge, like something was pressing against the surface from the inside, trying to get through. I smashed it with a hammer. Glass exploded everywhere, and behind it, I swear, there was something darker than the wall. A deep shadow that seemed to curl backward, like a tunnel. I boarded the space up the next day, moved out a week later. But now, Every reflective surface in my new apartment fogs up at 3:12 a.m. My phone screen, my bathroom tiles, and sometimes, when I look too long, I see her again. And she's smiling, because she knows I'm still watching.